Good morning, everyone. I'm David Talbot, Managing Director of Red Cloud Securities. Our next presenter is Layton Croft. He's President and CEO of Pancon Resources. Now, Pancon's developing the past-producing Brewer Gold and Copper deposit in South Carolina. So Layton, you'll have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A session at the end. How's that?
Thanks, David. Hey, everyone. My name is Layton Croft. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina, about an hour and a half from the former Brewer Gold Mine. You can see it there on the screen. And I just want to look at the title of our presentation because it says everything. Old mine plus new model equals big discovery potential. That's the story here. This is a gold and copper project. It's a past producer. It's in South Carolina, on the Carolina Slate Belt, the home of the first gold rush. The first gold discovered in all of North America was right here in the Carolinas in the late 1700s. And the city of Charlotte, where I live, in North Carolina, was built on top of gold mines. So we're in an excellent neighborhood. We're 15 minutes from the producing Hale gold mine. We have so much information here. I'm gonna go very quickly because I wanna focus on a few key things. This is our team. We have a very strong technical team here on the ground. Our capital markets profile here, I'm just gonna jump ahead. Again, old mines plus new mines equals new finds. So we're a brownfield project. There was 180,000 almost ounces of gold produced from the top layer of the oxide material back in the 80s and 90s. That miner from the UK, they abandoned the site. The government took it over. It hasn't been explored for 20 years. We competed in 2019. We won a tender process. So we have exclusive rights to explore and buy this property. We've spent 2 years. We've had some excellent drill results, which I'll get to. We're in a great neighborhood for exploration and mining here in the southeastern US. We're only 15 kilometers from the Hale gold mine. And we've got a 3,000 acre land package for exploration. This is a map of all of the known gold and copper porphyry and epithermal deposits in the world. This map is well known, but I want to focus here on the eastern seaboard of North America. Newfoundland is an area up in Atlantic Canada that a lot of exploration companies were focused on in recent years. It's becoming a new gold camp. Well, guess what? It's the exact same geology as down here in the southeastern US, where we know we have gold, but we also, Pancon believes we've got big copper porphyry potential as well. The rocks in Newfoundland and down here in the Carolina, on the Carolina terrain, are the exact same. So this map shows you what that is. We have done a lot of geological and geochemical and mineralogical analysis of this region. These are some images to show you. You see the Brewer gold mine, the former mine, the Hale gold mine right here, the Ridgeway down here. They're just along the southwest to northwest regional trend. The geophysics over here also show you the same thing, that we do believe that there's some real big potential here. Hale gold mine, Oceana Gold, they produced 190,000 ounces of gold last year. These are some photographs. This is just down the road. All the processing infrastructure is there. We do think that there are some good potential synergies with that operation. As I said, this is a big high sulfidation epithermal system. We think it's got huge potential, both for copper and gold. Gold is closer to the surface, copper is deeper. Our drilling shows that we know that there's gold near the surface, and we've gotten a lot of indications that we are close to that big porphyry heat engine. These two maps here show the alteration on the left and the mineralization on the right, but the big heat engine, this big porphyry deposit, we believe is not far from where we are drilling right now. This is a map of our land position. The Brewer mine property is 1,000 acres in this cross section here. And the blue represents private land that we lease called the Jefferson Project, which is about 2,000 acres. We've recently modeled all of the data, historic and our data. We've put together a new discovery model. It's very exciting. This image here is important. It shows you that we really do now understand the alteration. We understand which rocks are where. This is an old system, but we have a good handle on the way it's structured and controlled. You can see in the middle here, the raised, it's a raised lithocap, and this is a topographic high. You can see it shown here very clearly. The former Brewer mine is this red. This red dot up here is a known gold target. Down here is a known high-grade gold target. This is that southwest northeast trend, the regional Carolina Slate Belt. The Hale Gold Mine is just 15 minutes down the road. So we really do understand how the rocks, the lithographic alteration structure of the area is, and that helps us target when we are drilling. This is what we've done to date. We've been at this a little less than 2 years. We've got 2 more to go on our option agreement just about, and we're looking to extend that as well. We have compiled the historic data into a huge database. We know more about this area and this system than anyone ever has. Again, gold was first found here in 1828. So there's been a lot of folks over the years, but we have more data, more analysis than anyone. We've done an initial round of geophysics. We've done 200 shallow RAB drill holes. We've done 6 sonic drill holes, and we've drilled 17 diamond drill holes. The data compilation of the historic blast hole data has really helped us target our drilling. These little dots show all the shallow. There's been 1,000 historic shallow holes, but they were only going for that top layer of oxidized gold. We're going for the unoxidized material that has gold and copper below that top layer. This is showing what we've done with our RAB drilling. I'm going to move quickly here to get to the good stuff. This is a cross section of the former pit. The previous operator reclaimed it in a very homogeneous way. That's very important. We've put 6 drill holes in there. Here's 4 of them. We believe there's 100 to 150,000 ounces of gold in the waste material itself. We believe if we take all that waste out, we will reduce the acid drainage or maybe eliminate it, but we'll also be able to monetize that material. And that's very good for recouping our investment, but it also allows us to move quickly. We believe that there is a lot of gold and copper. We know there's a lot of gold and copper. I think there's a million ounces below the former mine in this breccia mineralization and nearby. You can see here on the right, these are our diamond drill holes where we've drilled. We've had some great success below the former mine here. You can see the pink and the red and the yellow are the best grades. And we have an exciting hole number 15, 150 meters to the south. We think that represents a new deposit, possibly a new discovery of a new ore body, which would be very exciting. Over on the left, this table, it's important to see we've drilled 17 holes. That's not a lot for a program like this. We're just getting started. And of those, 12 are showing significant gold and copper values. 5 don't show significant values. That's an excellent ratio for an early stage drill program for a project like this. This slide shows our best holes, holes 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 15. So 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 are here below the former mine. Hole 15, like I said, is a step out hole 150 meters to the south. And this one has 62 meters of 1 gram gold and 0.15% copper. It's very exciting. This cross section looking west shows you exactly what I just showed you before on that table. This is 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, right below the former mine. Excellent grades of gold and copper, some really significant intervals, thickness, 180 meters of 1.2 grams gold, for instance, in one of those holes. And then hole 15 down here to the south, again, it's open in all directions. This we reported last October. It's very exciting. It's the new southern target area. This slide here shows us a plan view of that alteration mapping I was talking about. We know where the historic gold is hosted in this residual quartz with topaz, but we also know how that relates to these other alterations. And you can see here, we have 4 target areas below the former pit, to the south of the mine, going on that same regional trend, a long trend for 450 meters. We have very juicy targets down here, and to the west and then to the northwest. We believe the roots of the system are to the northwest. We believe the lithocap is tilted and dipping to the north and plunging to the west. We believe that this is very prospective for that porphyry copper deposit. This is a cross section of that same information. You can see here in this big yellow, this is the KPT, the kaolinite porphyroid topaz. The purple is important because the purple, this residual quartz with topaz, is where the known gold and copper is hosted, at least the known gold and copper to date. We can see some here up way 350 meters to the north in our hole number 7. It ends in that same residual quartz with topaz mineralization. And we just want to connect the dots right here. So this is a very prospective area for drilling. This here kidney bean shaped orange is where the hole 15 is. We believe that represents that 450-meter target area to the south of the former mine. This is another way of looking at our 4 target areas, superimposing 3 of the 4 lines of the historic resistivity IP geophysics that we conducted. We do plan to do another round of geophysics that's more comprehensive in nature, a 9 square kilometer grid. And there, here you can see on the right, almost the entire 1,000 acre Brewer property will be covered, as well as a lot of the land around it. We believe the alteration zone, the system at Brewer is so big that we need a lot more land than just the 1,000 acres here. And so we do have that land. And we plan in our phase 3 to do more drilling, and concurrently we will do that new round of geophysics. So this is kind of the summary slide. We've got 4 target areas: below the former mine, to the south of the former mine, to the west of the former mine, and to the north and northwest of the former mine. We have 3 value drivers. Like I said, I believe there's between 100 to 150,000 ounces of gold in that backfill material based on our sonic drilling to date. That's in the waste rock. If you remove that, you get access to those excellent drill hole results we've got below here. We need to do more drilling. We need to prove a resource. I believe there's at least 1 million ounces of gold, equivalent gold and copper, in the relative near surface in the breccia mineralization below the former mine, but also possibly to the south, the west of the former mine. It's really open in all directions. So the target area 1 is below the former mine. We believe we're targeting a feeder zone for that high grade underground target, which may be to the north or northwest. Target area 2 is the southern target area. There's a 400-meter east-west trend of anomalous gold mineralization identified in shallow historic drilling. Again, they had the waste dump down here, so they didn't do really any exploration down here. And so this is very exciting. And this is where we want to start drilling straight away. The western target area is over here. Again, they built the former mill and the heap leach pads here. So this was not an area that was explored. The condemnation holes were only 30 meters deep. So this is a lot of prospectivity. Of our 200 RAB holes all around the property, we got some very exciting shallow RAB drill results here on the western target area, a couple of 7.6 meter intervals grading 1 gram per ton gold. And then there's the northern target area up here, which I've talked about, hole 16, which is a vertical hole, and hole 7, which is an angled hole to the south, showed us a lot of smoke, if you will, at depth around what we think are the roots of the system, this porphyry system. So if I can sum it up, we've got in the waste rock, we know we have gold. We think we can monetize and recoup our investment. That's a very fast path to cash flow. We do believe that there's a relatively near surface gold deposit, gold equivalent, at least 1 million ounces. I'd like to think it's several million ounces, especially if you look at our neighbor Hale down the road with multi-million ounce resource. And then the third is this big copper porphyry target that we're aiming for. And we've got several companies in our data room, larger companies who are very interested in our project for that big copper porphyry potential. And so we're excited for phase 3. We want to drill aggressively here. We want to do another round of geophysics. And we think we've got a lot of momentum and a lot of upside here to this story. So I'll stop there, David, and I don't know if you got any questions for me.
Yeah, for sure. Layton, thank you very much for a great presentation. So what does your location close to that multi-million ounce Hale gold mine tell you about what you should be able to find at Brewer, and how the 2 deposits differ a little bit?
Right. Well, that's an excellent question. It's so good. You know, the best place to find a mine is at a former mine or near a former mine. In the case of Brewer, we have both. This is a former mine, and we're only 15 minutes driving, 12 kilometers from the Hale gold mine, which is produced 190,000 ounces last year. They have more than 4 million ounces of gold in their resource, and it keeps growing, and they're getting ready to go underground. So I think it tells you that the proximity is very, very encouraging. They are a low sulfidation epithermal system. We are a high sulfidation epithermal system. We have copper in addition to the gold. They only have gold. So there's some really important similarities, but there's some real distinctions between the two. Both of them were created about 550 million years ago. So that's very important as well. I'll stop there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess how much attention are you giving to try to find that porphyry copper mineralization below your surface gold? Are you going to be drilling that later this year or something coming up?
We do intend to drill that later this year, but we want to be very prudent. We do everything based on data, which is why we took a few months to model all of our data. And you can see here, this slide actually really tells the story. Our initial drilling in phase 3, David, is going to be focusing in target areas 2 and 1. And at the same time, we're going to be doing another round of geophysics, as I showed that slide with the 9 square kilometer grid. And that is going to give us a lot more information, particularly about how to target and vector for that deeper porphyry target, which we're really thinking is up in that area number 4 there. So we need more data before we do those deeper holes. Of course, deeper holes are more expensive and more risky, but we do intend to do those as a part of phase 3 later this year.
Right. Okay. You did mention that the Brewer open pit had been backfilled with mineralized material. You mentioned you might have 150,000 ounces there. Its removal also might help your acid mine drainage. What steps might you take to try to monetize that? How quickly could you do it?
Well, I think we could do it very quickly. I think one idea is that we would build a concentrator and produce a concentrate. The permitting should be relatively quick and easy because it's a very isolated area. We know exactly what's in there. We know how it was reclaimed. We have all of the engineering design, and our sonic drill holes corroborate that. So I think that could go very quickly. And then that would be exciting to get cash flows very soon, which I think would make this kind of a unique story in the mining sort of space.
Right. Okay. When do you expect your next round of geophysics to begin, and what might that entail?
So again, we're looking at a deeper looking, more comprehensive IP geophysics program. We expect that to start very soon. That'll be kind of concurrent with starting the next phase of drilling. And it'll cover 9 square kilometers. And we'd like to think that we could look down, maybe down to 400 meters. And again, that will help us do 2 things: refine our known drill targets in target areas 1, 2, 3, you can see on this screen, and also really, really flesh out and put some more data around where we should be targeting for that deeper porphyry, particularly in the panel number 4 there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you did talk about that topaz rich mineralization that you see in both 1 and the new discovery in 2. Are you going to try to connect those 2 areas in your next round of drilling?
It's an excellent question. Between number 1 and 2, we do believe there's an east-west fault there. So it's possible that they will be connected, but it's also possible that the area 2 actually represents a different deposit, a new, as yet undiscovered breccia diatreme, which would be very exciting. But if it's part of the known deposit in number 1 that's just been faulted off, that's good too. We know there's gold and copper there. But also, to your point, the residual quartz with topaz, we're also seeing in the bottom of hole 16, which is up there to the north in that area number 4. And so we'd like to connect the dots between 1 and 2 and 1 and 4. And frankly, 1 and 3. So again, we're kind of starting where we know, and we're zooming out in these 3 directions particularly. And I actually believe that the dots will be connected in all those directions over time.
Mm-hmm. Have you been able to figure out how to target some of these higher grade intervals? Looking below the pit, it looks like there might be multiple flat-lying higher grade zones. They seem to tie up between a couple of those holes. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Have you been able to look at that a bit?
Yes, we have. And I'm going to show you this cross section here on slide 23 to speak to that. You can see where there's been quite a bit of space between our holes. So for example, holes 4 and 5, which just from a gold and copper mineralization perspective in terms of grade and thickness are our best holes so far, there's 110 meters between them. So I do think, to your point, David, there's a lot of potential for fleshing that out through infill drilling basically, and some measured grid-like step-out drilling to really define further and to grow the size of a potential resource there.